Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It really is an honor and pleasure to be here. It's such a momentous occasion. I've been honored to have been part of the process and watch it unfold and develop over the past several years, and I really want to congratulate all of you in making today happen and opening this center. I'm going to speak to you a little bit today about the Global Methane Initiative, US EPA's role in that initiative, and specifically on how we work to reduce methane emissions associated from coal mining activities. So we get a lot of questions in terms of why methane? Well, EPA's primary job is to protect public health and the environment. Over 60% of total methane emissions do come from human-related activities, and coal production is the fourth highest among these sources of man-made methane emissions. We also get a lot of questions in terms of why does US EPA work outside of the US? Well, methane is a potent, well-mixed greenhouse gas, so reducing methane emissions anywhere has an equal impact on our overall climate. And so we do spend significant time and resources both working domestically and internationally to reduce methane emissions. Obviously, we're the EPA. We care very strongly about public health and the environment. We also realize that reducing methane emissions has a wide variety of benefits. We talk to these a lot when talking to the various partners in the coal sector, the oil and gas sector, agriculture, wastewater, landfills. It boosts energy supply, energy reliability. There are a wide variety of economic benefits, and of course, industrial safety, which Mr. Pilcher spoke to just now, and you'll hear much more specifically from our experts this afternoon on how we can make mines safer, which is, of course, paramount to all of the work that we do. So domestically, we have been working to reduce methane emissions from coal mining activities from the early 90s. Our domestic voluntary partnership program is called the Coal Bed Methane Outreach Program. I work in a unique part of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency that doesn't focus on regulatory aspects. We house a variety of voluntary programs trying to work directly with our sister agencies in Washington, D.C., the states, as well as the private sector, so in my case with coal mining companies, to reduce methane emissions and to promote methane emissions reductions projects in coal mines. We accomplish this through a wide variety of tasks. We do not sponsor direct project development. However, we do pool our resources to identify profitable projects, provide technical assistance for these projects, put together a wide variety of tools and resources that project developers, mining companies, finance institutions, and all of the various stakeholders involved in project development can have access to. And of course, out of Washington, D.C., we operate an office where one can call, write, look for information. We have a wide variety of experts working all over the world that we point to for technical expertise to move these projects forward. Internationally, all of our work is conducted through the Global Methane Initiative. So sometimes it's a bit confusing in terms of EPA, Global Methane Initiative, which is which does what. Well, the EPA houses the administrative support group for the Global Methane Initiative. We house a strong team of staff internally who operate all of these voluntary partnerships, both domestically and internationally. And my colleague, Monica Shimomura, many of you may have met her in Ranchi recently for a best practices workshop there earlier this year. She runs all of the administrative functions for the entire partnership. Up until just last year, the United States chaired the overall subcommittee, the overall committee for the Global Methane Initiative that has just recently changed leadership, and now Canada and Mexico are chairing the Global Methane Initiative Steering Committee. And so we'll see a lot of changes over the next couple of years and some increased involvement from those countries, which we're very much looking forward to partnering with them. So the Global Methane Initiative, there were a handful of countries that recognized the strong need to work on reducing short-lived climate pollutants, specifically methane in this case, in the absence of any binding, legally binding climate agreement. So these countries came together in 2004 to create the Global Methane Initiative. Poland joined in 2007 and has been a very active member. I think previously did a lot of work in the oil and gas sector through the Global Methane Initiative and has remained a very strong collaborator and partner in the coal sector since its inception. This has now grown over the past several years to include 42 partner countries in the European Commission, and we're targeting 5 different sectors, not only working in the coal mine sector. So I put this slide here just to give you an idea of the breadth of partnership that is GMI. The partners account for nearly 70% of total global man-made methane emissions, and you'll see this really is a worldwide initiative. So I think one thing that's been extremely successful about the Global Methane Initiative is, in my view, it really has been a true international partnership, not only among the 43, if you will, partner governments, but a strong participation from the coal mining sector, and that includes all facets of the private sector involved in project development, as well as nonprofits worldwide. The Central Mining Institute has been such a key player in participating in all of our coal subcommittee meetings over the years. And many of the experts that you'll hear this afternoon have been instrumental, in my opinion, in moving this initiative forward in the coal sector. And we really couldn't have done what we've been able to do without the strong partnership between the governments involved and the private sector. I think we've done something like more than 300 resource assessments, definitely 300 to 400 workshops, technical trainings across all of the sectors, many feasibility studies, pre-feasibility studies. We've worked to actively support over 600 methane emission reduction projects across all of the sectors. We've been able to really talk to successes in terms of the amount of methane emissions that we've been able to reduce. We publish this information in a wide variety of reports. But something that Ray touched on in terms of improved worker safety, I would love to see the figure in terms of how many lives we've impacted, how many lives maybe we've saved over the course of this partnership, which I really think is the main point of everything that we do in terms of making this work safer for everyone. So every country who joins the Global Methane Initiative is asked to voluntarily assemble a methane action plan, and this goes across, in some cases, all of the sectors for the countries involved. The United States has a broad, overreaching methane action plan. We also have a specific action plan for the coal sector, and obviously our main goals are to reduce GHG emissions, promoting this use of a clean energy resource, which, as Mr. Pilcher mentioned, is very often underutilized, and to achieve the profitable recovery of coal mine methane. We do a lot of different activities under the auspices of the Global Methane Initiative. EPA is very proud to sit on the board of the Bureau of the Group of Experts on Coal Mine Methane. So we partner with the UNECE Group of Experts on Coal Mine Methane and also support them to promote best practices. As Mr. Pilcher mentioned, not only the development of the best practices guidance document, but really trying to disseminate this information in the guidance document and make this information available, especially in major coal-producing regions around the world. We have a variety of additional workshops coming up through the Group of Experts on Coal Mine Methane, and you'll hear about those over the course of the next year or so, and we really hope you can participate. We've also worked to both develop and support CBM clearinghouses, so centers, for example, in India, in China, previously in Russia, where one can go to access information and experts working in this field. Again, we've also conducted a wide variety of technical and economic pre-feasibility and feasibility studies to really assess the potential for moving forward on project development in several locations. All of the work that we do is under the guise of the Coal Mine Subcommittee. We meet yearly and thank graciously the UNECE for hosting our yearly meetings for many years in Geneva. We have a statement of purpose and an action plan if you wish to get a better idea of sort of what we stand for and what we do and how you can get involved. I encourage you to visit this website here. We've worked on a wide variety of tools and resources over the years for the coal mine sector. You can see a list of those here. Those are all available on our website. I urge you to get involved. We're always looking for more participation from the coal mining sector. Would love to see more Polish mining companies at our meeting. For those of you who are interested, I'd be happy to give you some more information a little bit later. Our next meeting is coming up in October of this year in Geneva, Switzerland, in conjunction with the next session of the Group of Experts on Coal Mine Methane. Again, you can contact me, Mr. Pilcher, Mr. Foster, Mr. Drabek. We'd all be more than happy to help you get set up to make your way to Geneva later this fall. You know, as Ray said, when we put our heads together, we know much more than working independently, and I really see both of these two groups as the venue for accessing technical experts and or contributing your expertise to all that is going on with regards to coal mine methane emissions reductions projects. You can also get involved by joining the GMI Project Network. It is free of charge. Also on the website, you can find out information. It puts you on a listserv that gives you additional information on how you can get involved in a variety of methane emissions reductions activities, both in the coal sector, and if your company, for example, works in the oil and gas sector, you can work on some cross-cutting issues. I would also lastly say that we are in the process of putting together, we've held these very large cross-cutting, cross-sectoral meetings over the past several years in China and India, Vancouver, Canada, Washington, D.C. We are looking to hold an additional Global Methane Initiative Forum. It will be hosted by our new committee co-chair Canada. We're looking into the fall of 2018. More official details will be announced shortly, but this will be an event where we will be soliciting speakers, and so hopefully we will be able to get more information from all of you in the audience and have you participate. But this really will be, again, a unique place to hear from the technical experts working in these fields, to learn more about best practices and how to accompany them into all of the work that you do. My contact information is here, as well as my colleague, Ms. Shimamura, who runs the administrative support group for the Global Methane Initiative. Thank you all again for your time, and again, congratulations.